In the heart of the bustling city, there stood a restaurant that epitomized luxury and exclusivity. Its chandeliers sparkled like stars, and the aroma of gourmet cuisine wafted through the air, enticing patrons to indulge in an evening of fine dining. It was here that I, Jason, a young waiter, found myself trying to balance my aspirations with the harsh realities of life. Working diligently to support my struggling family, I often reminded myself that every plate I served brought me a step closer to a better future. But one fateful evening, as I navigated the tables filled with laughter and clinking glasses, I encountered someone who would turn my world upside down, the CEO's daughter. That night, the restaurant was particularly busy, and my feet ached from the constant movement. I was serving a table of well-dressed patrons when I noticed a striking young woman seated at a corner table. She exuded an air of confidence, her designer dress and polished demeanor marking her as someone important. As I approached to take her order, I was met with a glare that could freeze fire. "Are you going to keep us waiting all night?" she snapped, her tone dripping with entitlement. My heart sank. I had always prided myself on attentive service. "I apologize, miss. What can I get for you?" I replied, trying to maintain my composure. She waved her hand dismissively. "I'll have the lobster, and make it quick. I don't have all night to waste on you." Her friends giggled at her remark, and I felt my cheeks flush with embarrassment. I nodded and turned to leave, but not before hearing her mutter, "Ugh, can't they hire competent staff?" The sting of her words lingered long after I had retreated to the kitchen. I had faced difficult customers before, but this was different. Her rudeness cut deep, igniting a whirlwind of self-doubt. Was I truly that incompetent? Did I deserve to be treated like this? I brushed off my emotions as I concentrated on preparing her meal, but the humiliation clung to me like a shadow. After the encounter, I found myself lost in thought. I wiped down tables and took orders mechanically, my mind racing. I thought about my family back home, my younger sister who looked up to me, my mother who worked tirelessly to make ends meet. Each day was a struggle, and I worked hard to provide for them, but moments like this made me question everything. Was it worth it? I had dreams of one day starting my own business, of giving my family the life they deserved. But how could I achieve that when people like her treated me like I was invisible? As the night wore on, I decided to push those thoughts aside. I had a job to do, and I couldn't let one rude customer derail my ambitions. I took a deep breath, reminding myself that I was more than just a waiter, I was a person with dreams and a purpose. Weeks later, I found myself at a business networking event, a far cry from the restaurant environment. I was there to serve food and drinks, hoping to connect with someone who might offer me a chance to break into the business world. I was determined to make the most of this opportunity. As I moved through the crowd, I overheard snippets of conversations that hinted at the presence of influential people. Suddenly, my heart dropped when I recognized a familiar voice, a voice that had haunted me since that night at the restaurant. I turned to see the CEO, a powerful man known for his innovative approach to business, surrounded by admirers. But it wasn't just him, the young woman from the restaurant was standing right beside him. Her flawless smile radiated confidence, yet I could feel my stomach twist in knots at the sight of her. As fate would have it, I found myself serving drinks at their table. The moment I approached, the CEO glanced at me, recognition flickering in his eyes. "Wait a minute, you work at that restaurant, don't you?" he asked, his brow furrowed in disbelief. "Yes, sir," I replied, my voice steady, despite the rising tension in the air. Then, to my astonishment, the CEO's daughter turned to me, her expression shifting from disdain to embarrassment. "Oh my God, I remember you," she said, her voice softer than before. I didn't mean to be so rude." My heart raced. It was surreal to see the tables turned, and I could sense the weight of her realization. The atmosphere shifted as everyone around the table grew quiet, their attention now on our unexpected encounter. The CEO leaned in, a serious look on his face. "I'm sorry you had to experience that. My daughter sometimes forgets that everyone deserves respect, no matter what their job is. It's a lesson we're still learning as a family." I swallowed hard, feeling the heat of embarrassment flood my face once more. "It's all right, sir. I understand that sometimes we have bad days," I said, choosing to be gracious. But the moment felt heavy, and I couldn't help but share my perspective. I work hard to support my family. I enjoy my job, and I take pride in what I do. It's not easy, but I believe everyone deserves kindness, no matter their position. The CEO nodded, clearly impressed. "You're right. I admire your resilience. It takes a strong person to stay motivated in the face of adversity." His daughter looked at me, her expression now one of respect rather than disdain. "I'm really sorry for how I treated you. I was being thoughtless, and I'm glad you didn't let it get to you." The apology hung in the air, and I felt a sense of relief wash over me. It was a moment of humility for both of us, and it reminded me that everyone, regardless of their status, has the capacity for growth and understanding. As the event came to a close, I left with a newfound perspective. The encounter had transformed my view on respect and humility. I realized that even in the face of humiliation, there was an opportunity for growth and connection. The interactions with the CEO and his daughter taught me that we are all on a journey of learning. No matter how high one climbs in the corporate ladder, it is essential to remain grounded and treat others with dignity. I returned to my job with renewed vigor, determined to rise above the challenges I faced. I understood that life was not just about the job I held or the titles I aspired to achieve, but rather about the relationships I built and the respect I fostered along the way. In the end, I discovered that sometimes, the most profound lessons come from the unlikeliest of encounters, and that resilience in the face of adversity can pave the way for a brighter future. My experience that night did not just shape my outlook on work, but it also instilled in me a belief in second chances and the power of mutual respect. This story of a waiter's encounter with a CEO's daughter illustrates the importance of kindness and understanding in a world where social status often dictates behavior. It serves as a reminder that everyone, regardless of their position, deserves respect and that humility can transform even the most humiliating situations into opportunities for growth. Hey everyone! I hope you enjoyed today's story. It's amazing how life can take unexpected turns and teach us valuable lessons along the way. If you felt the emotions and moments in this story, I'd love to hear what you think. Don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, and share if you found it meaningful. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button to join our journey for more heartfelt stories like this. Your support truly means the world to me.